Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of From the Heart. This one's going to be different. It does involve one 3D print, but it's not about the 3D print. I'm a person that takes down a lot of books. I work construction and stuff, and I just, instead of hearing engines and stuff all day, I fill my ears with stories, and good ones, I gotta say. And I've just been thinking lately about doing some kind of like book review, or just even talking about it, but The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker is one that I've listened to. I've listened to it 3 times this month alone, just trying to like keep it in my head to eventually do this video. He's got a lot of other work. I wouldn't define him as a horror writer. The Hellbound Heart is what the Hellraiser series was originally based off of.
This isn't for your eyes.
And yeah, I don't know if you've seen the Hellraiser series, but they go downhill pretty quick. The first one's pretty good. But this little book right here is awesome, and I didn't actually read this book. I listened to them through Audible. Yeah, I probably take down a book every week or something, so I just want to do something with all that knowledge. So we're going to talk about The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. You might know it. More iconic symbol would be the Cenobite cube. Essentially, this book is about like this little puzzle box, and there's actually a couple other things. There's a paper written in the Vatican, there's an origami thing, but there's these little trinkets and baubles that you can use to actually open up into the next plane. And this one opens up into the land of the Gash. A very pretty sounding world. It's actually, you've probably seen it just off Rick and Morty alone with the whole Pain is Pleasure episode. It's all based off that, the Cenobite. What they do is they leave this cube for somebody to solve on the world, somebody who wants more experience, somebody who wants more pleasure, somebody who's basically just done everything in life, wants to feel something different. So what happens is this man named Frank. Alright, this guy, he's been traveling across the entire world, all these different places, just trying to basically do as much drugs, as much sex, steal as much things as he possibly can. Alright, he's kind of a depraved guy, and eventually he hears about this box, and he gets it. He gets the box.
Take it. It's yours.
And that's where the story actually begins, is right as he's opening the box. He has like a jar of piss. He has a bunch of pigeon heads and a bunch of things that this guy who had the box, or actually told him to achieve it, said he needed to have just in case for like a sudden moment of depravity, like just needing to humiliate himself in front of whatever emerges from this said box. So Frank, looking for more, looking for a taste of something else. He eventually gets the box open, and what is revealed is the Cenobites, which is the Hellraiser himself. Finally, they come out. They're gray. They don't have a lot of like gender revealing features. You know, they have pins in their heads, and their like tongues are tied. One of them's actually just like has a throne of dead bodies that she just sits on, and they pop out and they're talking. They're like, Frank, dog, we hear you want more. We think we can give you that, but we don't think you understand what that means. They start actually talking about his nerve endings and stuff. And I don't want to get too jokey with it because it's a cool book. A lot of Clive Barker's writings are super cool. Like I think I might have said in the beginning, I would not define him just by horror. This is I believe his first story, and it's pretty short. It's about a 3-hour listen. But anyways, Frank is ready. So they take him into the next realm, and slowly starting to re-experience all these great experiences he's had, the good, the bad, just all these, basically every one of his experiences at once, you know, and he's kind of liking at first, you know, he's remembering all these awesome nights that he had and all these depressing nights that he had as well. It just keeps amping and amping and amping up as the Cenobites are basically bringing him to a whole another world of sensation, which basically no human being ends up liking, as you'll see if you've watched any of the movies, as this book will tell you. And Frank wants out, alright? He doesn't want to play anymore, he's had enough. So that's where the book starts, alright? That's very vague. You should listen to it or read it yourself. It's very good. It's very short. Like I said, it's like a 3-hour listen, so I can't imagine. I mean, this text is huge. It's massive. But from then on, we meet characters such as, I'm reading the list of names because I forget that kind of stuff very easy. Julia, Rory, and Rory's hapless friend, Kirsty. Now, Kirsty in this whole thing, it doesn't really ever explain how they know each other. She's just around and...
Sweetie, come here.
they do know each other. But anyways, so Rory is Frank's brother. Julia is Rory's wife. Suddenly Rory's actually, he acquires his parents' house and stuff, and him and Julia move in there. It's kind of a beater. It's got a lot of work. Julia's not particularly happy about it, but she keeps kind of bringing up, you know, what about your brother Frank? It was left to him in the inheritance as well. Rory, he just kind of brushes it off, says he'll just buy him out or whatever. So things are good. Happy life. You know, they go into the house, they start fixing it up. Kirsty comes around and she's kind of helping them. Kirsty's probably the most likable character in this. She's actually just kind of a normal human being. Because she's just kind of awkward, and she's actually a little bit in love with Rory, or like always has been, but accepts that he's with Julia. Julia, on the other hand, I guess we'll just leave that part out. I'll let that be, alright? But Julia is not happy with Rory. She wants more. And this all just kind of builds up as eventually one day Julia and Rory are kind of cleaning out some rooms and stuff, and Julia goes up into this particular room where a certain event happened. You know, she's reminiscing, remembering the same shit. She's just trying to kind of enjoy her time there. And eventually Rory, he cuts his hand and he's running up there. You know, Rory's, I forget what it is when you pass out, when you see your blood, but he sees his own blood. And he's like, Julia, I'm straight up gonna pass out if I move another inch. And Julia's like, my dog, stay right there. You're kind of a bitch, but I got you, bro. So she goes, she grabs a rag and stuff, you know, he's kind of bleeding all over the floor in this room and whatnot, and Julia cleans him up. And then it kind of just goes to the next day, and Rory's like, Julia, thank you for cleaning all that blood off the floor. And she's like, I didn't. You know, I'm secretly resenting you. I wouldn't clean anything. And he basically just says, oh, you're such a good housewife and whatnot, and things just continue. Well, slowly on, Julia goes back into this room, you know, the blood's gone, and she starts hearing this voice. And she's like, yo, who's in here? There's a party going on, right? So the party's going on, people are having a good time. She says she's going to bed, but then she happens to just stop in this room. And what do you know? It's fucking Frank.
Julia?
Oh, and by the way, I didn't design this thing, but I should probably show it off. I forget who did it, but I printed it out of wood, and then I just painted it. I did a little epoxy stoppers somewhere on the top. But it's pretty dope, alright? And it's not very safe to have this thing in the house, but it's fun.
The box. You opened it. We came.
Anyway, she's hearing Frank's voice, and he's like, you know, Julia and Frank have a connection, and I'll just leave that up. But he's saying, Julie, you know, I need blood. I need to be a whole person again. He kind of explains a little bit about the Cenobites and stuff, and he's still trapped in this purgatory or whatever, but his body's actually tied to this room. So when Rory dropped his blood on the floor, it absorbed, and it's slowly starting to recreate his body. And that's basically what the rest of the story is about, is Julia kind of going out and fetching blood in every way that she's going to do that, which is basically just like going to bars and like picking up dudes and promising to do the do.
If we're both on our own, maybe we could have a drink together.
And then just blindly murdering them in a room, and slowly Frank emerges. You know, he's growing tissue and things like that. And this book is super short, so I don't want to go through too much of it, okay? But the only things that I do want to say is that Julia, you know, so imagine I'm up in my attic right now, and I'm thinking, man, this is neat, I have an attic. And then a voice calls to me, and it's like, yo, murder these people, and I'll be new, and I'll be yours forever. I don't know which rational person would actually go through with something like that, but anyways, guys, The Hellbound Heart is super good. I don't know what I'm doing with the series. I probably should have written like some kind of essay or something, but I just needed to get it off the top of my head so I could stop thinking about doing it. So I'm glad I did that. But yes, Clive Barker, such a good writer, man. A little bit of a cliche, I started with like Stephen King and stuff like that, and I gotta say The Dark Tower is definitely one of my favorite series. For a long time I just like read horror and things like that, and then I've kind of branched off into everything. Anything that's a good story, I will listen to. You know, I need my like ear shows at work. Like I said, I've listened to this 3 times this month alone, and it's super good. But outside of Clive Barker's horror stuff, another good one is like Cabal if you want more horror. But when he gets into his dark fantasy moments and things like that, with the Magica, Great Secret Show in the Sky, the sequel to that, which is Everville, And there's just so many good ones, you know. I never really gave Clive Barker a chance, or anybody outside of Stephen King for horror reasons, a chance, and I've been really kind of blown away by his writing. I think he does a great job with actually tying like horror, romance, comedy, all these different things together, so you don't feel like you're just waiting for somebody to die, basically, you know. A lot of his books are actually about really like major moments of grandeur and things like that. Yes, everybody, The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, the birthing of the Hellraiser. And go check out those movies too. The first one is pretty good for an old horror movie, you know. It's something that you'd watch for long. I can't compare it to Evil Dead, because Evil Dead is legitly an awesome movie, whether nostalgia's sake or whatnot. Yeah, just go check out everything Clive Barker. He's pretty dope. If you like books, he's got some good books. Don't only think horror, there's a lot more than that. But yes, check out The Hellbound Heart. Super short, super good. And that's where I'll end this, because I have no idea where else to go with this video.